All right. So yesterday we talked about Manufacturing Day and just opportunities that are out there for you guys for your next step after high school. We talked about, some of the automotive programs, some of the manufacturing programs, CAD programs, engineering programs. I'm going to kind of go into more of these in detail later today, or maybe Friday morning, or Friday at the start of class. But I have a whole list here of a lot of things that are out there for you. Things that are free for tuition, programs that they'll pay you to complete. So there's lots of opportunity here. So we'll take a look at some more of those in detail. I want to watch maybe the next 10 minutes of the video. Where we kind of left off was CNC. They talked a lot about CNC, computer numerical control. If you have skill in that, you're going to be set for a job. They're going to talk about CAD, computer aided design, and different software programs that can get you jobs. And also blending the two together, CAD and CNC is called CAM, computer aided manufacturing, and how that can get you jobs. So I'm gonna stop sharing this for a second. Also, while we're doing this, tomorrow you're going to kind of have a little assignment to kind of pick something that interests you and write a little bit about it. Something that you learned. So, if you find something that's interesting, take a few notes today as you're watching the rest of this. All right. All right. So here, let me stop this. And then we will going to present the Chrome tab, this.
Within manufacturing, we thrive off of the people who are doing those skilled trades such as CNC or manual lathe or those types of things. I think that there's just as much of a demand for those jobs more than ever, because we don't have people who might seem quite as interested in them, and we're constantly looking for them too. So as far as qualifications go, it just, studying something that you're interested in and understanding how it can play into a larger scope of things is super important.
Mm-hmm. I think that one of the big things that we try to emphasize is that the market for skilled labor out there is very small. So there's a high demand, especially within manufacturing right now, for somebody who can operate a 3-axis CNC mill. There's a lot of engineering and just mechanical knowledge that goes into understanding how to make a complex part that allows our complex solution to work for the customer. So it's more than just taking a wrench and putting two things together. That having that education of these skilled jobs within the trades are something that is very highly touted with us, and it's hard for us to find right now. So there's definitely a demand for those types of positions, especially in our local area.
The possibilities are endless within a manufacturing facility.
Excellent. And so when we think about CNC equipment, you're right, it does take a certain level of skill. What type of on-the-job training do you provide with new hires, for example?
Oh, for the new hires, especially down in the shop, we put them with an experienced team member, because even if you have some sort of education and understand the way that CNC works, that putting them with one of our most useful resources within the shop to provide that on-the-job training is something that we like to do, just so that they have the ability to learn on their own, but also have a comfortable resource that has the right answer.
Excellent. And some of the other questions that we had with our first sessions, do you use computer-aided design or CAD? And if you do, how does that incorporate into your daily life there at Morrison?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. We do use CAD, and we use Inventor, which is a CAD software. So the Inventor is the 3D modeling software, and CAD is obviously 2D. So CAD, it works on all ends. It works on our applications portion, which is before we supply a quote to a customer for a machine. We always provide an AutoCAD layout, a general generalized concept of what we're trying to provide, so that we can create clarity and community, or communicate that with our customer. And then from that point, the AutoCAD, where it's the most important, is where it gets into our print packages. We make detailed prints of each part that we make, and we share those with our customers so that they understand what that part is and how it functions and how it fits in with the entire assembly or wherever it goes. And then those print packages are also what we send down to the manufacturing floor. They get uploaded into the CNC machines to where then we can collect all the data points and make sure that we are making the parts to a T within a tolerance. And then from that point, our assembly team also uses those CAD prints to assemble, and so we can test those machines in the shop here.
Excellent. I want to go ahead and show another video and then come back and see if we've got some questions. So all the students out there, if you have some questions, go ahead. Even though we're going to watch a short video, start to populate the questions for us. Excellent. All right, some questions have come in. How long have you been doing this job, and what came to your interest to even start it? Great question. How did you land there?
I'll let you start.
So I, like I said, it was an education, and I actually knew a person here at Morrison, so obviously the resource was really good. But I think the thing that most interested me in wanting to be here was exactly like the video you just saw, right? It was another one of those that I walk through my daily life and understand how something gets manufactured and put on the shelf and the behind the scenes. So I grabbed the Coffee Mate off the shelf and I think to myself more than just, oh, I want creamer. How did this happen? What lengths did it go through to get here? And I just think that being able to affect production and everything on a nationwide scale on a daily basis is something that it adhered to me.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I have been here about 1.5 years now. And like I said, I never thought about manufacturing at all until I had graduated grad school, and I was just looking to kind of change things up, and this job landed across an opportunity. And once I figured out what Morrison did and the impact that we had, and I wanted to do something a little bit more, then I wanted to work for a company that not only cared about their customers, where that was in their DNA, but because as a marketer, you can only be successful if you're working at a company that cares about those things, but got to see how things were made and see kind of the behind the scenes aspect and get to play a role in that. So I just thought that was really interesting, and Morrison became a great fit from there.
Mm-hmm. So another great question has come in regarding lean manufacturing. So thinking outside of the box or doing value-added services or processes. Talk to us about what Morrison Container is doing with lean.
Yeah, so we started lean about 20 years ago. It's something that we've always really focused on at Morrison. And we with our timing screw operations, have started some value stream mapping as of last week, and we're preparing for kata training in the next month. So it's something that we're always trying to see, how can we do things better, how can we do things more efficiently, and that's just kind of the constant focus, I would say, here.
And how about, since we're on the topic of lean, how about Six Sigma? Do you do any Six Sigma methodologies?
That is something that we have used in the past. That we are using kind of like
Nothing
a brother sister type scenario of that. So it's a little bit different and it has a different name to it. But those are all items that that's how we get our process improvement. Those are the things that we need to look at on our everyday scale of how are we impacting the world around us, but also how are we also being able to improve our internal efficiencies.
Yeah, and process improvement, without a doubt. What's adding value for your customer? So how about robotics? Is robotics a part of your daily life at Morrison?
Yeah.
Becoming ever more present.
Yeah. There's a couple of different ways that we do it. Is that there's robotics companies that solely focus on doing robot pick and place. Like if you think about frozen salad bowls, that they use robotic arms that have a vacuum on the end of them that pick it off the conveyor and place it in a box. But those containers need to be spaced apart, and that's where we come in. So we work with a lot of robotics companies, but we're also internally now processing projects that use robotics. That it allows us to, the one project in specific is picking up little like test samples for corn, and the robot just actuates over, it'll drop down, it'll pick up the containers, it'll come back up, it'll actuate back over and drop it back into a box. So robotics becoming a demand for the packaging industry is something that we are now transitioning and doing the same thing.
Excellent. And so a student has asked, what classes would you recommend our students take if they wanted to work at Morrison?
So from a manufacturing standpoint, and one of the things that allowed me to be successful in manufacturing with my role, even though that I came in sales, was that in high school I took a 3D software class and AutoCAD class. So being able to use the engineering softwares that we had, it made me more of an asset to be able to integrate my ideas and talk with the people in manufacturing about the prints, use those softwares to create revisions, things that they might need, or help the engineering team. So filling that void. So I think that if you're interested in those softwares and understand that that's a part of manufacturing, that's something that you might not get your degree in that, but it is still something that's going to stay with you and you'll be able to use at a company like Morrison.
I would also say something that I think is often overlooked is a communications course or some type of interpersonal communications course. So with what we do at Morrison, everybody is talking to customers in some way, shape, or form, and you're talking to each other. And so taking some type of formal communications course that allows you to learn how to work with all different types of people, because in the world we live in today, you're going to work with all different types of people, and that's a great asset to provide to a company. So taking a course that allows you to develop those skills and hone them so that wherever you end up landing after high school or college, you have that skill set where you can write a formal email or you can talk to somebody about something that might be uncomfortable. Those are just great skills to have for anything that you're going to do.
And super important, especially in a teamwork environment, which a lot of companies really require the ability to work together. When we think about the lead time, a question has come in, the lead time from when a customer calls and says, I have a product, to when you actually deliver that product. How long and what steps are in that process?
So what really happens in that process is it determines on the project for us. Like Allison had mentioned, that most of our machines are custom pieces of equipment that are being built for the first time. So it depends on the scale and what our customer is asking us to do and how many different applications within that order they're asking for. But something that's just a normal lead time for us of small independent things that people can order from us, we're around 2 to 3 weeks. Some other product lines are roughly around 4 to 6 weeks, but these big machines that you've shown videos of, they could go anywhere from 6 weeks to 20 weeks. And it's more over how do we integrate the time that it's going to take us to manufacture these items, and also understand when the customer intends to install these items so that they can start to run. And that's where the lead time really gets generated, is how do we work with our own constraints, but also try to meet the customer's need and demand. and where at the end of our communication with our customer does that end up being.
And with the nature of custom equipment, you know, a lot of these things that we are designing have never been designed before, or there's a new container and that container might have its own challenges. So we're going to try and build in the time to make sure that we're troubleshooting those things so that when it does land on the customer site and they are installing it, there tends to be as little downtime for them as possible.
Excellent. And a question's come in about computer hardware. Do you have computer hardware engineers on staff?
We do. We have a full staff of IT.
And they're my favorite people, I must say. They help us with everything from developing new internal programs for us to use to just make our lives easier to troubleshooting anything.
Yeah, and that's a good point. That is also an available option within manufacturing, is that IT teams. And I think that for us, the biggest thing that they do for us is to create software that we use on a daily basis. So instead of us outsourcing another company to do some of our internal processing software, that our IT team has 2 interns rotating year round. And
it was 1 person 5 years ago, and now we have an IT team of 5.
them to be able to develop that software that the rest of the company uses on a daily basis is definitely an avenue that gets lost in manufacturing.
Yeah, for sure, and certainly with our virtual world today, how important IT is to us.
Yeah. So I say when I say they're my favorite, they really are.
Yeah, for sure. Ours too. I have a video that you would like to share with our students titled The Career Toolkit. I'm going to go ahead and show that, or would you like to introduce this before I show it?
Yeah, so it's not really a video. One thing I would say that we always try to tell students whenever we talk to them is, you know, your career is going to be long and you're going to be working for a long time and you don't know which way it's going to go. But whatever company that when you are looking, you know, for jobs, whatever company that you're looking for, I think finding a company that is focused on education and continuing education of their employees at any level is very important. And at Morrison, that's something that we focus on. So if somebody's starting with us in MASAC, we're going to send them the formal MASAC training right off the bat. We're investing in that. And if somebody wants to go back and get some other type of certificate or take a class on Excel or, you know, go back and get a different degree, we're going to also help and invest in that. So, you know, you're going to change your mind as to what you want to do, and that's good, and you're going to go down different career paths. So finding a company that values that is really important. And this tool, you know, with you starting out is through PMMI, which is the packaging organization that we work with. And it's just a really great resource for you while you're kind of navigating what you're interested in and what different areas for you and for your parents to really understand what the possibilities are.
Sure, yeah, so let me bring it up. It certainly looked very interesting. Let me bring it up and you could talk to it here. Interesting. So tell us a little bit about PMMI.
Yeah, so PMMI is, like I said, it's the trade organization. So with the packaging industry, and our CEO is actually on the board there, and we're heavily involved with them. She's also a part of the workforce development. So we do a lot of investing with workforce development and matching for universities to help universities build, you know, packaging. They have packaging equipment within universities so that students can work on those things and learn about those things. But this particular toolkit, it is what it says. It's a toolkit. So if you scroll down a little bit, there's different videos for students and parents and webinars as well that kind of just go over the opportunities and the different career paths that you can take within this industry, and just open your eyes to what's out there so that you have a little bit more of a understanding and knowledge about what your options are.
Excellent, and primarily in manufacturing.
Correct. Yeah, primarily within manufacturing.
Excellent.
I would also say, since all of you are local, at, you know, Purdue Northwest, so at Morrison, we really do invest in education. That's something that is our DNA. It's something that everybody cares about here. And we actually helped develop the first 4-year mechatronics program in the country. And it's something at Purdue that students are allowed to, it marries the mechanical and the electrical side together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that it is of any interest to anybody, feel free to ask us, or we could pass you guys along.
Absolutely, and that's more on the engineering side.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. We here at Governor State University have an excellent Bachelor of Manufacturing Management that our community college partners, the students would go earn an associate degree and then transfer over to Governor State to finish with
Okay.
manufacturing management, which involves Lean Six Sigma as well as project management, just to name a few.
Yeah.
Guys, I know we still got like 10 more minutes, but I want to go through, they're going to talk about some of their programs, but I want to show you some of the more local stuff here. So if you guys could turn your cameras on, I'm going to show you guys where you can get free money if you're interested. So let's turn our cameras back on. Again, hopefully you learned something there. Because again, some of you are seniors. We got juniors, sophomores, we got freshmen. You got to figure out what you're going to be doing with your next step. So I want to, here. So let me do this. This. So tomorrow you're going to be writing about something that you found interesting here. All right, let me share that. Minimize this. Get that out of here. I have this open twice. All right, so we talked a little bit about some of these programs yesterday. So I'm going to kind of go through these in a little more detail today. First, like I said, last year we went to UPS. UPS hires lots of engineers and mechanics to maintain their equipment, make sure things are operating right. They have a mechanic engineering program. It's actually through Moraine. It's a 2-year program. And UPS will pay you to do the program. You can actually get a job part-time. You can see some of the classes here, some electronics classes, mechanical classes, welding, gas welding. That's what we're doing in here right now. Actually, I have Kevin. I don't know if you can see it over there, but he's doing some gas welding right now. That's what I showed you guys. Different classes that you're doing. There's related to plant engineering mechanics. And they will reimburse you up to $25,000 with their program. So I have links to all this stuff. I'll share this with you guys tomorrow. You can check out all the links and everything. And if you want more information, you can obviously go there. But yeah, you can earn money, your training, they give you up to $25,000 for college if you complete their program and you get a job out of it. Next is Moraine Valley, all their mechanical technology programs. I'll show you some of those really quick, which would include auto and welding. But yeah, they have programs in automotive, all the skilled trades, heating and air conditioning, welding, electronics. You can actually see them here. They have an automotive technology program, just like we have here at Sandburg. What's also neat is, so they have their traditional auto program. They also have, what's pretty cool is this MCAP program. I think I mentioned it yesterday. They partner with Chrysler. That's the Chrysler Automotive Career Program. And you have to apply for that one. That one you have to apply for, but you're working at a dealership, like Chrysler dealership, a Dodge dealership, a Jeep dealership. If you're done with that, turn your torch off, turn to the right. You're going to school at Moraine. You're working at a dealership part-time. You're learning the skills and trades specific to those dealerships, basically. And then you have a job when you leave. They also have a newer program. I know I was talking to Nick about it for foreign cars. In this case, Nissan and Infiniti. Infiniti is Nissan's luxury brand. Same thing. They have a training academy at Moraine. You're going to school at Moraine. You're doing the training. You're doing like an internship with them. You know, you can walk away with a nice job there too. The welding programs. They have, you know, the welding programs here. You know, you can, you know, here's some of the classes you would take. So they have a welding program that you can look into. Joliet Junior College, that's another local community college that's not in our district, but it's our neighbor district. But they actually have a partnership with they have a really good auto program as well, and they partner with Southern Illinois. So you would do 2 years at JJC, and then you can transfer to Southern Illinois and get a bachelor's degree out of it in automotive engineering. So they have SIU has an automotive engineering program, and the JJC program transfers into it. And you're learning, and we've had students get jobs with Ford that have done this program, and we have like students that are engineers with Ford right now working in Michigan because of this program. That's a great program right there. So I have that one on there. I'm getting more back to mechanical and manufacturing. This ArcelorMittal Steelworker of the Future program, they offer tuition reimbursement. This is in Northwest Indiana, this company. You good? Why don't you? Yeah, cool that down. Did you cool that down? Did you take your metal to cool it down? No. Go do that first. Just, yeah, wrap that around there. Turn everything off. Yeah, shut that down now. The main tanks. No, don't, that one, close that. No, not that one. The one below. The tanks. Shut the tanks off and then bleed out the lines. Shut the tanks off and bleed out the lines. So again, they'll pay you to go to school, or they'll pay for you to go to school, and you can get a job out of this too, working, you know, it's as in the steel working industry, which you're working as an engineer in the manufacturing side. And again, they'll pay you to do that. So there's some info there. Moraine has a good engineering automation program. In the video, like I said, they talked about CAD. That's the AET program, Automation and Engineering Technology. They have programs with that where you're learning software programs and engineering and design skills. They also have a cohort program for AAT. This one, guys, pay attention to this one. This one is completely free. So they have a cohort program for AAT. You have to apply for it. There's an application process. But if you get accepted into this program, they will pay for your school, your 2 years of school for free. I think there's a $25 application fee, which they can even waive that. That's all you got. They pay for your books, everything. So this is automation and engineering technology. You know, getting into CNC, CAD, computer-aided manufacturing. You know, in you know, anything to do with manufacturing. So there's an application for that, but that program is free. I actually had a meeting with Moraine a couple weeks ago. They don't have enough people in the program right now. They're still looking for people for this. There's lots of options for dual credit too through Moraine. You know, we have like several of our tech classes offer dual credit. Auto Body 1 does not, but auto tech classes you can get dual credit. CAD classes you can get dual credit. Electronics. But there's lots of opportunity for dual credit. There's this engineering pathways program, which is an engineering program through U of I that you would do 2 years at Moraine, get all your gen eds and everything out of the way, and then you transfer into U of I for your last 2 years. Yeah, bring that over to the and shut that water off too when you go over there. It's already pretty good. But leave the bucket filled. We're just going to keep using that bucket all week. Yeah, let's see how you did. So again, yeah, this is a great program. You can walk away with a 4-year engineering degree from U of I after finishing that one. So yeah, like I said, there's lots of opportunity. Manufacturing, sometimes they mentioned it in the video. There's a couple more things here I'll show you maybe the rest of this tomorrow since we only have like a minute left. But there's just lots of opportunity, guys, within manufacturing, lots of jobs. You know, you can get paid very well. Manufacturing, it's high tech, high skilled. It's not like a low skilled, low wage job. You know, this is like new manufacturing, high tech manufacturing involving engineering, automation. So, you know, there's just a lot of opportunity. We don't have good qualified people. Just set it back on the brick. I'll take a look at it in a second. All right, so there's just a couple more things we'll finish up tomorrow. I'm going to have you again tomorrow kind of pick something that you you're interested in. You know, and maybe you're interested in something else too. I'd like to hear about that. So again, it's just trying to get you thinking about your next step. You know, what are you going to do? There's lots of opportunity, and there's more than I even put on here. So again, I'll share this with you tomorrow. If you got any questions, guys, let me know about any of that. I'll be here for the next couple minutes. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a good one.
Good one.